Welcome back. We have another edition of Speaking Legal with Will Worsham today. And Will, you brought somebody with you.
I did.
Fill the viewers in.
This is Krystal Russell. She's my accountant.
So the question this week must have something to do with her field as well.
It does. It sure does.
Okay, what is it about that?
Well, we got a question that came in. There was a man who has defaulted on his student loans. And so in order to collect that every year, they seize his tax refund.
Right.
Well, he's getting married. So his concern is that when I file taxes with my wife, if we file a joint return, we get a refund, are they going to take her tax money too?
Okay.
So that's a tax question.
Right, that's so, and as will do from time to time, you're going to tap other experts to answer these types of questions.
Yes, we're going to get the right answer from somebody that knows. But first, I want to briefly touch on this because it comes up all the time. When people are owed money or they're being collected on, like a situation like this, a lot of times they think about bankruptcy. And bankruptcy is a good solution. We can talk about that.
Right.
Student loans are kind of an exception. Really tricky. Student loans, in particular, are almost impossible to discharge in bankruptcy. So before we get into the actual question, I just want to throw it out there that really bankruptcy is probably not an option in this scenario right here.
And you have the two different types of bankruptcy I know we've talked about before.
Chapter 7, Chapter 13, it's really not going to matter here. Those student loans are going to get paid. That's why they're so easy to get.
Yeah, oh yeah, we're going to get our money back one way or another.
That's right.
Is basically it. And they do keep after you, so you're not going to run from those things.
No.
But it is a legitimate question, because now if you're taking on a wife or a husband, you know, is he going to be liable for that debt? Will they?
The potential is yes. If they file a joint return, which if they're married on December 31st of the end of the year, they have two options of filing. They can file either married filing joint or married filing separate. If they file married filing separate, there are several tax consequences of doing so. They lose a lot of deductions and benefits that they would otherwise get. But her refund in this particular circumstance may not be taken because her return would be protected and his refund therefore would be taken.
That's if you're filing separately. Married filing separately.
If they file married filing jointly, yes, her refund would also be taken to take care of his debt.
And there is no recourse beyond that then.
There's a couple other options that are very detailed, and so what I would recommend for this particular person is to get a paid preparer to help them. There's an injured spouse and an innocent spouse, and you can go to irs.gov and look at those in detail to find out if their specific set of circumstances would qualify them for injured or innocent spouse relief. But that's really kind of too specific to answer today for our general question.
Yeah. But that's, you know, as Will has said before, when it comes to matters legal, same thing for matters with taxes and finances. You find an expert in the field.
Absolutely, especially in this particular circumstance.
Yeah, because you're messing with the Fed at this point, aren't you?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And there's just some things that you can do to plan, to prepare, that may help all parties involved.
You know, there was one other part of this question, which was they'd asked, well, can I file head of household? And I think there was a lot of misconception about what head of household means.
So to file head of household, you have to be an unmarried individual and you have to have a dependent on your tax return. So in this particular case, if they are legally married by the state of Missouri or any other state that they live in, at the end of the year, December 31st, and they have to file either married filing joint or married filing separate. Head of household is only an option if you are an unmarried individual.
In other words, all of this, find the expert and they'll give you the right, because you're kind of skimming the surface in a sense on this.
Absolutely.
All right, find the experts. Now, if you would like to, have Will answer a question, legal question, or obviously he has other experts to go to.
I know people.
Yeah, he knows people.
Yeah.
That's just email wworsham@color10.com. Thanks both for being here.
Thanks, Tom.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a quick